Tell me about this route you are taking or the Congress wants to take to address social and economic justice, which is the caste census, and then a couple of points about, raising the 50% cap on reservations and via an amendment, and also keeping the economically weaker section reservation, but making it available to all and not just the general category.
Yes, Anuradha, I think that's a good note to start with. I think because it first underlies the reality of our country, which is in some sense the ugly truth that caste-based inequality, caste-based discrimination is still prevalent. And I think what we are saying is we perhaps don't even know the extent of the problem. For example, if we know that the backward castes and the Dalits and the tribals and the religious minorities constitute roughly 3/4 of India's population, then why is it that in the upper echelons of professional careers or government or when it comes to benefits and rewards, they have less than 10% or 15% share? Because this is data that is out there. So we're starting by saying, let us recognize that there is gross inequality, injustice along the lines of caste. There is nothing shameful about accepting this.
So, Praveen, just a quick counter. I understand my privileges as an upper caste urban Indian today, an English-speaking upper class caste urban Indian, and yet I'm coming to it not from the point of privilege, but perhaps a note of idealism, which is in 2024. You're also going to do an economic census. What people, who is poor, what is the wealth that is available to people. So why then is the caste route the main route, and why not a caste-less route, which is the economic criteria, which would then include all the groups that you have mentioned who are identified on caste lines? Help me understand that.
Yes, it's a good question. In fact, the census that we have promised in the manifesto and Mr. Rahul Gandhi keeps talking about, it is colloquially referred to as a caste census. But in reality, what it is the Socioeconomic Caste Census, SECC. That is the technical term for it, which tells you that it is a census of everybody that will document the social status, the economic status, and their identity status. And from a data perspective, it is important to know all three. It is important to know all three. And then once we will realize what we call what is a significant factor in determining with inequality, in determining poverty. So, for example, let me ask you a question. Why is it that less than almost zero, less than 5% of the top CEOs and MDs of the top 100 listed companies in the stock exchange belong to the backward caste of Dalits or tribals? Whereas when it comes to Narega work, which is minimal wage work, 82% of Narega laborers are backward caste, Dalits, and tribals. This is data. These are facts. So then how can we say that caste is not a factor? It is a factor in determining outcomes, social outcomes, economic outcomes. We're not saying this is only a caste census. I want to make that very, very clear. It's a socio-economic caste census.
Okay, so there is no getting away from the impact of caste in 2024 in India. That's the reality, and we need to take into account that fact to make policies, what you're saying at the Congress.
That is the ugly truth of our society. Much as, you and I that are privileged, we recognize our privileges, much as we don't want to believe it, that is in reality the ugly truth.